As with any show that runs into extreme longevity, The Simpsons will forever be shackled to nostalgia and trappings of the past, whilst trying to push forward with original stories and character beats. With more than 500 episodes under its belt, that attention to detail will eventually suffer, especially if you're a nitpicky old fart like me, and continuity errors do appear. Many later episodes ignore these sorts of things for a laugh, but if you look hard enough, and every show that's ran this long always has fans that do, there are plenty of examples that suggest that someone in the bowels of Simpsons HQ hasn't been paying attention. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and this is The Simpsons, 20 annoying mistakes you didn't notice. Number 20, Homer got his job several different ways. In Homer's Enemy, when Frank Grimes asks Carl and Lenny how Homer got his job, they say he simply turned up at the opening of the plant and got hired, which directly contradicts other episodes. In the Blunder Years, we learn about the tragic fate of Smithers' father, which establishes that the nuclear power plant was clearly open when Homer was young. It's also revealed that Homer failed his initial interview and had to threaten Mr. Burns in order to get hired. It's kind of the opposite of just being given something. Number 19, Lisa has a wandering IQ. Lisa might be a genius, but quite how much of a genius seems to be a matter for debate. In Homer's Enemy, her IQ is revealed by Homer to be 156, despite the fact that Lisa herself has come up with two alternatives. 167 in They Saved Lisa's Brain, and 159 in Smart and Smarter. SMRT indeed. Number 18, The Simpsons break their multi-state ban all the time. Thanks to various cross-country shenanigans, The Simpsons are banned from every state in America other than Arizona and North Carolina, as revealed in Kill the Alligator and Run. However, in subsequent episodes and seasons, The Simpsons have been to many other states, including Delaware, Missouri, Washington DC, New Jersey, California, New York, Nevada, Oregon, Vermont, Illinois, Utah, and Florida twice. Number 17, Homer's inspiration disappears. In And Maggie Makes 3, it's established that Homer only works at the power plant to afford having 3 kids, and that Maggie is his direct inspiration to keep working. But that doesn't exactly fit with what came after, as the wall he faces changes between a window showing some piping, a map of nuclear sites around the country, and his own plaque. It doesn't seem like he's working for consistent pay either. In Much Ado About Nothing, Homer's wage is revealed as $24,395.80 a year before deductions. But in American History Excellent, Carl tells Homer that he's drinking a $60,000 bottle of wine, to which Homer replies that he's drinking his salary. Number 16, Mr. Burns, Nasty or Nice. Mr. Burns' origin story is all over the place, especially concerning who he was before he came to own the nuclear power plant. We've seen two different takes on his childhood. First, in Burns' Heir, he's a rich, evil child. However, in Rosebud, it's shown that he grew up in a poor family as a child until a twisted, loveless billionaire took him as their own. Even Burns' manor has two origins. In Them Robot, Marge says that Mr. Burns was originally a nice man when he first came to Springfield, but in Burns' Heir again, he's shown firing his nanny as a baby, suggesting that he was pretty much born evil. Number 15, CARLSON'S heritage. Carl Carlson has both a black family and a white family according to the show. In The Seemingly Never-Ending Story and The Boy and the Grey, we meet his dad and sister, who are both black and resemble Carl closely. But in The Saga of Carl, he reveals that he was actually adopted by a white family. And in Excuse Me While I Miss the Sky, Carl talks about his childhood in Iceland. Number 14, left-handedness is temporary. The whole foundation for Ned Flanders' leftorium is that there are many prominent lefties throughout Springfield, including billionaire Mr. Burns and many others that eventually save his store from closure. That must have only been temporary though, since Ned has been seen doing many right-handed things, and many of the lefties who saved his shop, including Bart Simpson, Principal Skinner, Moe and Mr. Burns, have also all forgotten that they were ever left-handed in the first place. Literally watch any of the episodes that came after this, and the vast majority of lefties are doing everything with their right hands instead. Number 13, how old is Chief Wiggum? Police Chief Clancy Wiggum is at least 3 different ages. In the timeline established by Mother Simpson, Wiggum appears as a teenager, probably around 16, in a flashback to 1969, which would have made him 42 in the present, that assumption being based on the episode airing in 1995. People don't really age in The Simpsons at all, so Wiggum could still be 42, but in Weekend at Burnsies he appears to be his current age in another time. Then in The Way We Weren't he appears in a flashback set when Homer was 10, confusing his age even further. Number 12. Homer can't have another child, or can he? As part of the side effects from working at the nuclear power plant, Homer is revealed to be sterile, as established in Season 3 in Brother Can You Spare Two Dimes. However, in Oh Brother Where Bart Thou, a full 18 seasons later, it's revealed that Marge is still taking birth control pills, which Bart swaps with Tic Tacs in an attempt to get a little brother. So why is Marge taking birth control pills if she couldn't get pregnant anyway? Number 11. The Spucklers. Cletus Spuckler and his family have been given more screen time as the show has gone on, but you can tell that they started as a throwaway gag. The Spucklers weren't even called the Spucklers to begin with, as Cletus's name was initially given as Cletus Delroy, but it's the lineage of the family overall that's the most confusing. When Homer was ordained as an internet minister, he was able to marry Cletus and Brandine, remarking, "Wait a minute, are you two brother and sister?" To which Brandine replies, "We's all kinds of things." In The Italian Bob, Brandine remarks to Cletus that he's the best husband, brother and son that she ever had. Then in Little Big Girl, one of the Spuckler sons draws a family tree that suggests that Brandine is the child of Cletus and an alien. Additionally, in a different episode, it's revealed that the Spucklers have 51 children, but others throughout the show's history have suggested numbers as diverse as 19, 44, 31 and 39. Number 10. Ned Flanders is one of the oldest men in Springfield, except when he's not. How old is Ned Flanders? In Hurricane Neddy, Ned was sent for anger issue therapy as a child 30 years beforehand, making him around 34 or so, but in Viva Ned Flanders, when Mr. Burns is giving out the oldest living Springfieldian award, you can see Ned remaining standing amongst all the other residents who say that they are older than 60. Number 9. Milhouse is a liar. In Season 15's The Way We Weren't, when Milhouse kisses Homer, he says that it was his first kiss in his whole life. However, a whole 12 seasons before that, in Bart's Friend Falls in Love, Milhouse has a girlfriend who he kisses throughout that entire episode. Number 8. Smithers' origin story changes all the time. In The Simpsons' 138th episode Spectacular, Troy McClure mentions that Smithers is in his early 40s. Then in Bye Bye Nerdy, Homer remembers beating him up at middle school, putting them at similar ages. In The Blunder Years though, when Homer is overcome with unstoppable screaming, it's revealed that the cause was him discovering the dead body of Smithers' father 25 years ago. That would make Smithers younger than Homer and only in his late 20s rather than his early 40s. Number 7. Where were Marge and Homer married? In The War of the Simpsons, Homer mentions, and I quote, "that big bash we all had with the champagne and musicians and holy men and everything," which Marge points out was their wedding. However, in flashback episode I Married Marge, Homer was only able to afford a cheap wedding at Shotgun Pete's. Number 6. Bart's allergies. Bart Simpson has a number of allergies, from cauliflower and shrimp as established in the episode Please Homer Don't Hammer 'Em, to butterscotch, imitation butterscotch and glow-in-the-dark monster makeup from Blood Feud. The former is disproven at the end of the frying game though, when he says about eating so much free shrimp, and later in a Milhouse Divided, Marge reveals that Bart's favourite speciality is butterscotch chicken. Number 5. The garage that cleans itself. A visual mistake that went unchanged for many early episodes. Keep an eye on the inside of the garage during the opening animation and you'll notice the contents change considerably between shots. When Homer gets out of his car on the driveway, there's a ton of clutter in the top corner, comprising boxes and gardening equipment, but when he runs away from Maggie and Marge behind the wheel, there's only one box left. Number 4. Moe forgets women in his bar. In Season 8's The Homer They Fall, Moe says that no women have ever been to his bar since 1979. But in Flaming Moe's, he straight up hires a waitress to help deal with that surge of popularity. In New Kid on the Block and Homer the Vigilante, Ruth Powers, the next door neighbor of The Simpsons in various episodes, appears in the bar, even ordering a beer, whilst Marge also goes to the bar in Bart Simpson Gets Hit by a Car. Number 3. Homer's baldness. Homer Simpson's baldness has been put down to a number of causes. In Homer Scissorhands, his hair loss began in high school, thanks to over-loving it. Then in And Maggie Makes 3, we see that he tore all of it out when being told each time that Marge was pregnant. In Marge on the Lam though, it's revealed that Homer once volunteered for an army experiment to get out of dinner, a side effect being hair loss and even his stupidity. Number 2. Maggie's first word is any number of things. Canon episodes say that Maggie's first word was daddy from Lisa's first word, though only the audience saw that, so her family tend to believe that her first word was ja, Norwegian for yes, in Coming to Homerica. In Gump Roast though, everyone watched a clip of Maggie saying her first word, which also contradicts that in the Simpsons movie, her first word is sequel. Number 1. Mr. Burns' age. Mr. Burns' biography changes so wildly it's almost impossible to pinpoint how old he actually is. At times he's been 81 and 104 in different episodes, but we also get told that he's anywhere from 118 to 123, with one joke suggesting that his age is the same as his PIN number, implying that he's actually 1,000 years old. That is about as long as I expect The Simpsons to go on for as well. And those are just 20 annoying mistakes that now that you know, you'll not be able to unsee. Let me know your favourites down in the comments below. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com and I'll catch you soon.